Meat City, baby.
Hello and welcome back to Meat City Gaming. JD here with another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video, and today I'm pretty excited for this one. It's the first video that I'm doing directed to the new Conquest game mode that was recently added to the game. And so we're about the third day into the event, and so this is going to be my initial impressions. I'm going to give a talk about some of the things that I've seen that I like, that I don't like, very high level, how you access this event if you're not quite qualified to get there yet. This will be a little bit of an intro into how it works. You can see the mechanics at play. What it's not going to be is a walkthrough, as that's going to be really difficult to do because there are a lot of random elements to the mode, so that's not really going to be something that I think will be too helpful. In the future, the bosses for this, and we'll get into it as we see it, there are bosses throughout the phase that I believe are going to be consistent among all players. So there are some things that might make sense there. Those bosses have feats attached to them, so how good teams to use to defeat them. But even still, there's other RNG elements, buffs that you get for your teams that are completely random. So yeah, you can cakewalk it if you have this random buff that you got but nobody else got. Not going to be really relevant in terms of a video. So again, what I'm going to do here is just kind of work through a little bit of the mode while giving some of my early impressions on how the game mode works. And again, it's early, I'm still learning, so this is subject to change in the future. It's just based on my first couple of days with the mode. So we can see it's connected to this galactic battle. You've got your galactic war on one side, which thankfully we can sim when you've done it a number of times, because man, that was a time sink, and there are now a lot of time sinks going on in the game. One of the things to think about in the future here, we currently have Grand Arena challenges and Conquest going on at the same time, and territory battles or territory war. There's a lot of time that you need to invest in the game. So simming where possible is certainly welcome for the Galactic War. All right, so we're going to head into the Conquest, and you can see the first screen that you get is this overview for the entire event. And there's a lot of information here, and there's a lot more information that you can go into to find. So there are 5 sectors, and you can see the boss character for each sector, and you have to complete each one in order to unlock the next. So you can see I've made my way through Sector 1. I've defeated the boss, but I haven't maximized the tickets yet. There are still some that I can go earn tied to the feats for the boss. I'm in Sector 2, working my way through that, and you can see we go all the way up to level 5. Now note, this is the normal difficulty. There's a normal and hard, and everybody, for the first time, you have to beat normal, or you have to try normal. I'm not sure if you have to beat it completely and then you get to hard, or if just for the first one they locked everybody in. I think you need to complete normal once, and then you can go to hard. But either way, everybody that's doing this for the first time is in normal mode, and that's tuned to, I believe they said, about a 2 million GP roster. I am well clear of that. I've got a couple of Galactic Legends, so I don't think I'll have any trouble getting through the event, but something to keep in mind, there are different levels of people. There's some different gating and energy and time sink requirements in here that are going to affect how you get through this. But normal playthrough for me shouldn't be too much of a problem. There are event feats. So this is galactic wide or event wide across all the phases. And you can see, I believe these are going to be the same for everybody, and they'll probably change from event to event. And these aren't too bad. These are the kind of things that I'm fine with. Complete a battle with no tanks, that's interesting. Full light side, full dark side, get some crits, and defeat enemies. That's great. There's no defeat all the enemies with a full squad of Relic 5 Night Sisters, right? Those are the kind of things that are frustrating. And again, it's the first one, so they may be giving us a good first experience, and then they crank up those paywall gates in future instances. I'm hoping that's not the case, as it was with the Galactic Challenges, but for now, they haven't done it, so it's positive, so I'm good with it. We have an inventory, and you've got two consumables or 2 equipable items, data discs and consumables. The data discs are these buffs that you'll pick up along the way, and you'll see, and they have a wide range of effects. This is the big RNG component Each person gets different data discs available to them throughout the battles, and some of them are super powerful, especially with certain teams, and some of them aren't. So you can equip up to 12 slots, and each disc requires a certain number of slots. So you can see I've got 2 discs in here that each are a 3-slot disc, so I'm at 6 out of 12. I'm leaving some unequipped because to remove them costs currency or tickets. There's like a tax you have to pay, and I'm trying to avoid that. I'm assuming I'm going to get way better ones later on, so I'm leaving those spots open to equip them, and I haven't had any trouble early on here, so I don't need to max out my team. But that's going to be a big key. You see I left some of those tickets available for the Gear 1 fight. Well, if I get some awesome data discs, I can go back when the event is basically done and clean up and apply those super powerful ones to make those feats way easier rather than try to grind them out now. So those are the data discs. You'll see where we get those in the event. And then we've got consumables. The other element that's in play here is fatigue. You can't just use, if you have one super powerful squad, you can't just use them over and over and over again. They have kind of a timeout feature. So there's boosters in ways to improve your stats, to remove that fatigue, and to do some other things. But we're going to try and avoid that for this normal mode playthrough. Okay, so you can see also there's a new event energy, and there's also an event currency. So the energy does refresh over time. It's slow. You don't get any boosts throughout the day like your other energy. It's about 24 hours to refill completely. It's not quite that. It's a little bit longer, I think, but it's about a full day. So if you have your set Conquest time that you play, 7 p.m. is my time, and you blow through all your energy, about 7 p.m. the next day, you'll be ready to roll again. And that's without any energy refreshes, which are available as well. All right, so you can see the reward crate here. As you gain these tickets, you unlock an increasing crate, and you get other instant rewards that you can claim right away. The crates, you have to wait, but these, as soon as I hit 115 tickets, I can claim that, and that'll show up. And then you can see the Conquest store. That's the new tab here that's got a bunch of items available in it, either for these new Conquest tickets or for crystals. Okay, so let's head into Sector 2 and see how this actually plays out when you're trying to work your way through. So you can see I've started working through this sector, and you can see the path. You can always go back and redo these battles if you want. I selected a data disk, and then here you can see this is my current location, and then going forward there's actually choices usually on the path, whether it's 1, 2, or 3 nodes seems to be the maximum and the minimum for each step along the way, and you work your way all the way over until you have the boss battle, which does seem to be a static boss that everybody who's doing the same event will face, and then after that you get a data stockpile reward before you advance to the next sector. So with my current position, I've got 2 options. I've got Night Sisters and I've got Padme, and then you can see I have a little bit of info about what's ahead, and you can see it looks like 3 battles ahead, and then after that there's like a fog of war that prevents you from seeing what's going on. So you want to always be looking ahead when you can to try and make decisions, right? This decision here is actually a fairly important one. There's the chance to visit a shop, or there's the chance to get data discs. And again, if I go this top path, if I go here to here, I now cannot get this bottom data disk. If I go, conversely, if I go here and then here, now I've blocked myself off from the top one. So you have to think about it. Do I know which of these I want to go for? And then if so, I can follow that path. So again, none of these jumped out to me as must-haves where I would sacrifice everything to do it. I do like this amplified agony a little bit, doing 5% max health damage to an enemy every time you inflict a debuff. That's okay. I'll hang on to that one. I probably won't activate it right away. There's one on the bottom here. Whenever an ally gains a buff, they also gain 3.3% turn meter. That's pretty good to speed your guys up if you're passing a lot of buffs around. So then I've got 1 choice in each. I really don't see the need to go into the middle here for these boosters, so I'm going to forget about him. And so then it's about which enemy path do I want. We've got a nuke team, we've got an Emperor-led team, And that is a tough team. So that's a Sith team, Emperor Palpatine, he's got his Zetas, Darth Revan's in there, Malik's in there, crazy team. And on top of that, they get Grim Machinations. You can see the modifiers that are in here for each battle as well. And basically, anytime you're killing a Sith, you're superpowering all of the other ones. So again, I probably won't have an issue with that, but that's a tough battle. So I think I'm going to avoid that and go the top path. So then that would mean I would need to choose here to go Night Sisters instead of Padme. And again, that makes sense. Padme has the Steadfast Retribution. Basically, they reflect damage. That's a crazy modifier, a really difficult one to deal with. Again, I'm overpowered for the battle, so it's okay, but that is one to avoid if you can. And Night Sisters don't really have anything too scary. They have the Ichor buff where they kind of gain stats as they get killed off and revive. And then they've got an overprepared, basically just kind of a standard buff that increases their stats. So that's not too scary. And then you can see you can 3-star the battle to get up to 3 key cards. And that's just like old school light side, dark side battles. 3-starring it is not losing any characters. All right, so that's the path. We're going to go to the north. And again, I'm not going to talk through this in such detail for every battle. We'll skip over some of the as we get into this. But that's how this works. That's how you need to approach each decision, especially if you're close to the threshold for these battles. If you only have certain teams available, if you only have a couple of good teams, you need to think, because you can get stuck, literally stuck. And if you can't get past the team, that's it. That's your conquest mode for the month, potentially. So we're going to go the Night Sister route. And I think for this one, here, so when you go into the squad selection screen, you can see the other component here, the fatigue. You can see this team has 92% of their readiness, or of their fatigue level. They're 8% from max. So when you use characters in a battle, they lose 10% fatigue, and that correlates to a loss in stats. And I think you can actually see the stats in here somewhere if you click on it the right way, and that's where some of the consumables come in. You can get those back. And then over time, they recharge their stamina. So you can use the same team over and over. You just have to give them a break in between. All right, so in here, we also have feats in this specific sector so that you have to complete in here. And so we can see for this sector, we've got attack out of turn 50 times, which is easy. We'll get that. Win at least 7 battles with a full squad of Jedi. That's one we have to focus on, and we already got the granting buffs to allies. So I'm going to go here into the Night Sister team, and we're going to look for a full team of Jedi just to try and keep that going. I don't think I can finish all the battles with just Jedi, so I'll probably have to come back and visit that. But again, that's fine. There'll be extra time and energy left over at the end of the battle to come back and clean these up. So is there a team that I'm excited to use here? I really don't want to waste Luke, my Galactic Legend. Let's do a Revan lead. Oh, actually, I think a full Revan squad would be pretty good here. Let's go Bastila, Jolie, we'll go with Luke, and let's throw Ezra in. I think that'll be fine. That might not quite be enough. This team, let's swap out Ezra for Shakti. I think I'd rather go with her. Bring a little bit extra oomph here. All right, so we'll go in. And then this works just like a Galactic Challenge or anything else where you got the Night Sister team. Okay, so what do we want to do first here? Let's focus down Asajj first. There's no DACA, so there's no revives. That's interesting. We'll take Asajj out so we're not like buffing her up by killing her allies. So then we should go here, and we'll try and get her down twice. Let's send in Shakti. We'll get rid of... Oh, we missed, so we don't get rid of the taunt. go, we get the stun. And now we can start calling some assists here. Asajj is down twice, so now we'll burn down the zombie twice, so that's locked in place. Let's go ahead and get rid of Asajj, since she's so low and they can't bring her back. And one more. Okay, zombies locked in place. Let's go ahead and AoE. And we want to get rid of Spirit because Spirit can hit really hard. Now we'll go for Talzin. And now it's just a matter of powering up until we can get a couple of AoEs to slap down the Initiate in the back there. There we go. Let's do the AoE, and that finishes them off. So, again, not an ideal team, but got through that pretty easily, and we saved some of our heaviest hitters. And that's how this works. And there we go. So actually we did, you can see a feat there. We got 10 battles with no tanks. I wasn't even trying for that, but thankfully that worked out. And on top of that, attack out of turn 50 times.